Hi, the Techno G here, and welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at Microsoft's Elite Wireless Controller Series 2 for Xbox, and to go with that, a mobile gaming clip. Okay, box contents, let's see. Controller, interchangeable D-pads. This is what I'm looking forward to. I mean, fighting games with the original D-pad is not nice, but this disc one, I'm hoping that's good fun. Analog sticks can be changed, rear paddles, it comes with a carrying case, a charging dock, a thumbstick adjustment tool, we'll have to see what that's about, and a USB-C cable. Now, I already use a setup similar to this, and that is in the form of this SNES controller. This is by 8BitDo, and this clip is a third-party clip for it. And you know, this controller is great. I do like using it, especially on the Switch. But with this setup, it's very top-heavy. You know, it's very uncomfortable for a long period of time, and I'm looking for something new. This clip, as you can see, you can move the device over the controller, allowing for a more balanced feel. I'm looking forward to trying that out. This is actually officially licensed by Microsoft, so that's the first. I don't believe there are any gaming clips like this that are licensed by Microsoft, so that's pretty cool. Right, let's crack this bad boy open. Ooh, nice. I mean, there's not going to be anything under here, is there? Oh, no, spoke too soon. Let's have a look what's underneath the case. Oh, a nice USB-C braided cable. Very cool. Let's leave that like that. And this is probably documentation. Yes, cool. Right, let's leave all that in here. Place that to the side. Okay. Oof. Now, the PlayStation controller is my favorite, but in terms of mobile gaming clips and functionalities like this, where you can change the triggers and the rear buttons, there's nothing like this. I know they have added a button attachment to the back of their controller, but in terms of customization, this is another level. And when they released the second one and made it USB-C and Bluetooth for mobile phone use, I thought this is going to be great. Let's try it out. So here we have the charging brick. You can leave it in the case and then you place your controller on these pins and it will charge. But you can also use it detached because the cable simply passes through the back. And here we have the different thumbsticks for the device. Pretty cool. Oh, taller thumbstick. This must be the tool for the analog sticks. So shall we try? Okay, so this must be used to adjust the thumbstick. So this allows the tension to be adjusted. Yeah, see, that's more resistance and then lack off. Let's try a different thumbstick on there. These grips are great to hold. Right, let's put the original one back on. I see they put the disc on by default. The default D-pad for the Xbox is not that fun for Street Fighter. Good for Mortal Kombat, but not good for the curling of the D-pad. This reminds me of the Sega Mega Drive, and that is my favorite controller to play Street Fighter on. Here's my 8BitDo Mega Drive controller, and this setup is one of my favorite D-pads. This is brilliant for Street Fighter. I'm going to do a video about this and the SNES controller at a later date, so subscribe, hit the notification bell icon, and look out for that. And these are great controllers by 8-bit though, and I can't fault them. But I can't get over that top heavy. So let's see how this goes. Cool. Let's have a look at the back of the device. So we've got 4 additional buttons here, and then we've got these sliders which allow you to adjust how these triggers, how far they travel. So we've got full travel, half, and hairline. Obviously fighting games, you're going to want the hairline trigger, but for racing games you're going to want that gradual braking and acceleration. Let's get this clip attached to the device and my phone. This is important. This allows you to connect the cable for the device, whereas on my 8-bit though adapter, you can't go wide with this controller. It has to be Bluetooth. Right, let's attach this clip. If I knew how. And so that's the difference here. You can move 2 parts of the device. So if I just bring this down a tiny bit more, I mean, it might get in the way, of the D-pad. We'll have to see. If I just keep it there. I think we're good. Maybe just tighten these up a bit so it doesn't fall back. And the moment of truth. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's way better. And also brought towards your face. I mean, not like the Note 10 Plus isn't a big enough screen as it is. Okay, let's get this connected, shall we? Let's press and hold the sync button. That must be it there. I won't even check it. Just gamepad icon, click. Xbox logo is flashing. Pair with Elite Wireless Controller, yes. I'm going to begin with Tomb Raider. This is a native Android game. Let's see how it does. Controls are working, no configuration required. Stuff like PUBG only really work on controllers like this, Xbox and PS4. I've seen a number of USB-C controllers which can't be mapped to the controls in those games. Oh, keyboard, no, don't want that button. That must be a mistake. Not a very good start. The X button seems to be mapped to bringing up the keyboard, and so that's really irritating. It's probably going to just work in all the games as well because it's OS wide, and I need to make sure it's not doing that. So I'm going to plug it into a computer and check the application that this controller works with to see if there's any updates, and I recommend you do the same. Do not just plug it straight into your phone hoping that it's all going to work perfectly straight out of the box. So let's update its firmware first. Here on the Microsoft Store there's an Xbox Accessories app. I've installed that. Launch the app. I've plugged in the device for USB, and yes, there's an update required, so let's do that. Okay, controller's been updated. Let's have a look what's in the app. So the middle button on the controller switches between profiles, so you can set it up for different games and then just switch between them. So let's create a new profile. I'm going to call this Street Fighter. If one can spell correctly. Save. Now here are all our options. You can set a button to be a shift key, use as shift button. So if you hold one of these rear triggers and then click the stick in, you'll get a different command. Here we've got sensitivity curve on the sticks, dead zone for the triggers, brightness of the logo too. Right, you've seen the Xbox Accessories app, you've seen what you can change on it, the firmware's been updated, let's carry on. Now I'm taking a look at Grid Autosport. This is a very polished Android game. Right, here we go. No configuration here required. The accelerator's working, that's important, of course. Oh, not a good start. I can confirm the triggers are giving the game analog input, which is always helpful for racing games. Yeah, I definitely recommend you upgrade the firmware on your controller before you use it on your phone. Not having the X button bring up the keyboard is already immediately less painful. As mentioned before, one of the key benefits to this setup is I don't feel like my phone wants to fall backwards, as you will get with the majority of gaming clips on the market. You know, if you search for the best gaming clip for PS4 controller, with the touchpad here, it must be that no one wants to create a clip that goes over the touchpad. And otherwise I would have preferred that controller, but I think given the amount of stuff you can change on this control pad, and I'm going to try Street Fighter next because I want to see if that D-pad can sway me over from the PS4 controller, which I definitely prefer for Street Fighter. I think this disc D-pad is going to do the job. Okay, so far this controller's putting an outstanding performance in. Let's move on to some emulation. One of my favourite Street Fighter examples has got to be Street Fighter 03 for the Sega Saturn. Dreamcast version is good too, but I grew up with the PS1 version. So for this, I'm going to want to set it to the hairline trigger option. Right, so this controller does need configuring. Emulator is not quite as universal as these games are. They're not just going to be plug and play. So hit the settings, remap all the controls, then you'll be good to go. Well, that was easy. Yeah, this D-pad is gonna work. Oh yeah. Yeah, this disc D-pad is a win. Last, I'm going to give Metal Gear Acid a go on PSP. The on-screen controls here haven't automatically disappeared, so let's see if there's a setting for that. Controls, on-screen touch controls, let's get rid of them. I wonder if any of this works by default, I hope so. Let's see. The controller's working without any configuration. Of course, for different games on your emulators, you might want to remap accordingly. These rear buttons are not going to show up as additional control buttons for these apps because they are mapped to other buttons on the controller, so keep that in mind. Yeah, so analog stick working and then D-pad. Brilliant. A very different Metal Gear. Card game based Metal Gear. Oh, this isn't going to be very exciting. I just need to move to the end spot. Ooh, reminds me of VR missions. Impressive, Snake. Now let's test the latency over Bluetooth. I know some devices do give trouble, and some older versions of Android, but let's see what we're dealing with here. Latency looks great at about 4 frames, similar to what you will get on a Switch using Joy-Cons from the sofa. And that is it for today. I will place links to both products in the description below for you to check out. And note, you can use this clip for any of the Xbox Bluetooth enabled controllers. It doesn't have to be the Elite one. If you've enjoyed this video and you found it useful, please like and subscribe. It really helped me out. This is the Techno-G signing out. Take care. Nice, I don't have to take my phone out of its case. Or do I? Is it too heavy? Sweet.